this is a way to basically, democracy is like a river. The Mississippi River starts with a few drops of water in northern Minnesota. And they become rivulets, the rivulets become brooks, the brooks become streams, the streams become rivers, small rivers, tributaries, and you got the Mississippi River. The way the country moves forward is for everyone to say, how do I get some skills and how do I get a sense of urgency to tiptoe into the local city council meeting, or tiptoe into the local courtroom, or tiptoe over to the rally or the march. Or talk, big talk with your neighbors, not just small talk about neighborhood problems. Most people, because we don't develop civic skills, our education is memorization, regurgitation, vegetation, year after year after year. We learn computer skills, but we don't learn civic skills. How to use the Free Information Act. How do you really develop a coalition on Congress or in Annapolis? How do you do a good press conference and make people laugh as well as pay attention to what you're doing and so on? We don't learn skills. The schools are like trade schools at best. You say you got to have computer literacy, and I say to them, I'll settle for literacy. You know? And as a result, we don't have a civic personality. Just like if you want to really excel in sports, athletic personality. It's not just skill, physical skill, it's the will to win, not to be discouraged. And that's what you have to develop, and you do it because the problems are all around you here in Baltimore. You don't have to go fishing for public problems. Just attach yourself to a good neighborhood group, a civic group, an environmental group, a student action group here at the college, and just get a taste of it, or do an internship. And that's where the future leaders come from. We got movers and shakers in this country that have helped to change this country. Just take the environmental area, for example. And you say, how'd you get into this? And they say, well, my mother and my father, they took me to a rally. Or I participated in a march when I was a kid. Or I had a great teacher who really made me think. See, so that's what it comes down to. We can make sweeping generalizations in response to Mark's important question. But it really comes down to every little person. And I'll just give you a personal example. I lost friends on the highway in crashes. High school, college, couldn't believe it. It was like a bloodbath compared to today, your friends today. It's like 5 times more per capita, 5 times more per 100 million vehicle miles traveled. People were dying and injuring on the highway. So I decided to do something about it. And I got a hold of technical information and realized that the auto companies were not putting proven, simple safety features we now take for granted in their cars that were available for decades. Seat belts, padded dash panels, head restraints, stronger side impact, collapsing steering column so it doesn't turn into a spear in a left front collision, and airbags. GM got wind of this. And they hired a private detective to follow me everywhere. And the memo, after I sued them later, the memo that they instructed, the detective firm said to their allies, we got to get dirt on this guy in order to shut him up. First Amendment, right? Shut him up. It isn't just government that shuts people up. Corporations do a great job of it in the workplace and in the public arena. And they got caught because they followed me down to the U.S. Senate. I went into an elevator and went up, and the detective went down, and he lost me, and he went to the police guard, who happened to be a law student in those days. And you see this guy? And they caught him. I mean, you don't go around saying, I was following this guy. You know, like a brother cop, a brother detective. Now, the result was legislation was passed. Make a long story short, over 1 million lives saved, tens of millions of injuries prevented, affected car production all over the world because they had to sell into our market in the U.S. and meet the standards. And you see, if you go all the way back, what was the spark? Not only did I have a lucky choice of parents, the spark was finding out, why are my friends getting killed on the highway in low-speed crashes? Why did that car behave the way it did and became a spear or a fire trap when they could have built it better. So that's where you have to latch on to a big horizon as students. Have a higher estimate of your own significance. Watch the way you use your spare time. Watch your small talk. Watch how the forces on you will trivialize you year after year after year. Keep your eye on the big picture. The fact that you're going into art, art is an incredible form of communication. All visual arts in terms of social change. So I'll just leave it at that.